Hi, folks. Well, no ideas again, except I do want to share some number fun. You know, it's kind of interesting that you take the naught or the zero, which represents nothing, right? And by adding it to the digits that we have, the 1 through 9, you add nothing and you get infinity. That's kind of fun, right? Well, let's play with the difference between a million, a billion, and a trillion. In a day, there are roughly 86,000 seconds. That's quite a few. And so a million seconds is about 12 days. And that's a lot. Now, a billion seconds would go from 12 days to 32 years. And that's a big difference. So if your average lifetime is, let's say, or a full life, let's say 80 years, that's about 2.5 billion seconds. Okay? Well, what's a trillion? A trillion seconds is about 32,000 years. So we go from a billion seconds of about 32 years to a trillion seconds about 32,000 years. Now, I wrote this down a good while ago. Don't remember where I got it. Didn't do the math myself. But wow, you know, a trillion, these numbers. Now I have another one that's fun to play with, and who knows why it is what it is, but if you take 1.11111, so a 1 point and then 5 ones after it, and you square it, you multiply it by itself, you get an interesting result. You get 1.2345654321. That's kind of interesting. It's even more fun though if you take 9 ones. So it's 111,111,111. 111,111,111. And you multiply it by itself. You square it. It's delightful. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Things that make you go, God as an acronym for the geometry of divinity. Maybe so. Oh, there's so much we have yet to discover and to delight in. And we'll see and we'll know and we'll sense and we'll understand these things on a deeper level, because we'll be the completeness of self, the completeness of that which is the potential for these human forms. Once upon a time, I would have said human forms that we wear. But my joyful challenge now is to realize that I contain the form. I'm the space. And so that's the mind candy, or that which pretzels the mind, instead of the body contains me, I contain the body. Why not? Why not? It's fun. It is so much fun waking up. it is so joyful reaching the spot where you can wave goodbye to suffering. And realize that even though superficially your life might look the same to others around you, and you go through pain and difficulties and challenges along with others, you know you'll never suffer again. You know it's not possible. And it's a heck of a thing. We've been a long time, if you will, in coming to here, in getting to the place where, when we looked at it in the various other lifetimes where we had that attainment and we were seeking the light, seeking to be the fullness of that, and we have had various conceptions of what it might be. What's it like? You're driven to that. It drives you. You don't drive it. And so it's not like a conceptual thing that you hold in the mind that's driving you. But the mind, when we live in that, which most people do, can't help but build castles in the sand and imaginings. I mean, it's working toward a goal, so it tries to conceptualize what is this goal that I'm seeking. And it's funny because you watch all of that fall away, and it's nothing like any of it. And I'm not sitting here before you claiming to be some illumined anything. I'm just farther along than I've been before. I'm just at what I hope is a more and more common space for many, and even all of us, to arrive at, where we have enough detachment, where we're not gripping life with a death grip, you know, refusing to let go, terrified, and because of our fear, vulnerable to so much. The fear falls away, and you didn't throw it away. You didn't make it a goal. I'm not going to have any more fear anymore. I mean, how would one accomplish such a goal anyway? You just wake up and you realize it. It happened. And you don't know exactly when or why or how. It's really rather bizarre. And quite enjoyable. It's really possible. The thing on enjoyment, the Pleiadians through Barbara Marciniak are very good, as are some others, but very good to be the reminder, don't forget to enjoy yourself. And it's so often when we're finding our joy, when we're being in that, and when we're pursuing that, that when we blossom, you know, the best stuff happens. The beautiful understandings come. And it's not that we're seeking them. We're just being in the joy. Meaning. What is meaning? I don't know. And it's so much fun that we don't need to know. It's not fun for the mind. And for those that are in mind, I mean, to them, I'm just a pure fool. And my words don't make sense, and that's okay. That's a valid perspective too. They all are. It's a matter of choice. What's our choice? And I guess this emptiness maybe is a consequence of certain choices I've made. I don't even know if you can look at it like that. Honestly, I don't know. I didn't set out to pursue emptiness. What did I set out to pursue? Now, I've been on the mystical path, if you will, loving Source since very young. So that part of my life has been consistent. It's like a love affair with God. Only I don't like the word God. It's taken on too much baggage. There have been too many wars fought and people killed and tortured and harmed in the name of some God or another, or of God. But Source, Prime Creator, the Isness, something like that. So that's been consistent. And I didn't set out to pursue that. It just was. I mean, we're born with certain things already functioning. So what did I set out to pursue? The things seemed to gel for me, to really come together. Even though I could say I've been on a spiritual path of one kind or another most of my life, they started to come together as I was listening to Eckhart Tolle in his webinar with, what's her name, Oprah. And when he talked about don't run from things, just be with it. And so I set out to do that. I set out to just be still. And when the difficult memories or the difficult feelings or anything would arise, not to resist or avoid, but just to let it be what it is. Give it room to be and not to turn away. And he also spoke about being in the body. In his way, you know, that's how he would talk about feeling the hands. If you just put your focus on your hands, you'll feel your hands begin to tingle. Well, at any time that you're anywhere in the body with your focus, anywhere in the body, you're not in the mind, you're not in the head. And you're in the sensate world then instead of the mental one. And more things are possible. All things are possible that way. Getting out of the mind and the mental field is a must for so very much. And I have no understanding of that. I just have my own experience, and I have found it to be so. You know, this is what works for me. For me, it became being in the heart, and that's not something he taught. That's just, you know, I'm not a clone. I'm not a robot that was activated by Eckhart Tolle. And now I go forward teaching his teaching. That's ridiculous. Teachers come and go who have something to offer that's really key for you or for me. And so, you know, those two things were key. But each of us, if we had our inner eye open, each of us is really quite the committee, quite the community of beings and guides and the higher self and even just yourself on all the higher dimensions that's working with you. Other elements and aspects of the self transcend time quite regularly. It's only the 3D self that got locked in this linear, limiting experience of time. And it's time to break out of that box now. And so we have all sorts of help. So the keys that we find and that we use, I think we'll be pleasantly surprised to see later on with our expanded vision how there was a guide or an angel or a light being or what that guided us in that direction, that inspired someone to send us that link, whatever it is or was. And we'll see these things and how they fit together, and how we are so much more than what we think we are. I mean, look at that. You add the naught, you add the zero, and you get infinity. You add the zero to the finite, and it goes infinite. I think one could build a philosophy around that. You know, Nassim Haramein is so very good because he's one of the first that was willing to look at the possibility of having boundaries and allowing that infinity could exist right within the boundaries. You know, that you can go infinitely small, and that infinities can be contained, and they are everywhere, in every atom and cell. We contain all of cosmos in these bodies. It's an as above, so below thing. You to your body are a god. Each cell is conscious. Your cells respond to your consciousness, to your thought, to your emotions. You construct yourself and reconstruct yourself on a daily basis, moment by moment, in the now. Bruce Lipton is so wonderful about how it's the cell membrane that's really the brain, not the DNA. It's the membrane. And how the membrane is responsive to consciousness. And how the membrane changes the DNA. It's not just a read-only affair, this DNA of ours. It's read-write. And we are the author of that, or we can be. It's the choices we make. It's the choices we make. And they seem very little and they seem very narrow, but they're not. Look at timelines. Every decision that you ever made, there's another you that made the other one, went off in a different direction. All those parallel lives and worlds, all those timelines that led in different directions, so that as we integrate, and that's what we're doing now, we're pulling it all together. It's a time of pulling it all together, of coming into the wholeness of it, and of reigning over that which is, and which is in our own domain, which is our own consciousness, our own lifetimes, our own timelines, our own dimensional selves, higher dimensional, lower dimensional, the entirety of our being. Finally, instead of all of the sense of separation, which has been a delightful illusion, we're coming back together. I mean, we're all bipolar in a way, because we have a day life and we have a night life when we lay the body down. What do you do when you leave that body at night? Night after night after night. Are you like, let's see, Jessica Mystic, Jessica Schaub, who learned and realized that she's a guide on the inner dimensions? And so rather than sleep, which she doesn't seem to need, she lays the body down and she goes out and serves. and is aware of being in many places at once. We all can do this. Our beliefs get in the way. Our beliefs get in the way. Thus, the watch and observe. Just by watching, we will link up with our higher self, our inner self, with our guides, our committees that are there to help us. And if we're silent, if we let the mind go do its thing, but let it go do it elsewhere. If we just come into quietness, we're poised and accessible and ready to hear, ready to be taught, ready to have things arise before us and see how they integrate with the puzzle that is our life. Throw all hopelessness overboard. It's all a lie. It all has meaning. It's just not the kind of meaning that mind can get its teeth into. And so if the mind doesn't understand, big whoop. Doesn't need to. Let the mind be subservient to the heart. See you soon.